Greetings in the mighty name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie Jah Rastafari, light of an eye world and life. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be accepted in thy sight. O Jah, greetings ones and ones. This recording, let's call it a follow-up to Maroon. Now, Maroon is a term that was placed on the original inhabitants of Jamaica as English call it. Now, a lot of times it is good to know foundation or set a good foundation. And in making this recording, I want to lay a proper foundation in relation to the Maroon argument and the Maroon narratives. First and foremost, before 1492, there was no such thing as no such people named Maroon. It's after Cristobal Colon, aka Christopher Columbus, supposedly lost and find him way to what's presently known as Jamaica. And out of this, they came and found the Arawak or Taino and the Caribs, inhabitants of this island we call Jamaica. And after the Arawak rescued them, basically them turn around and destroy them, searching for gold, enslaving the Arawaks, and those Caribs and Arawaks who refused and fought, escape into the interior. Then came when them took when the monarchy of Spain gave Christopher Columbus Jamaica, him and his family, they came and the history books record, but briefly, them took control and set up plantations. And out of this, hence they start bringing in slaves. And those who refused to accept slavery was termed or given the name Maroons. So Maroons is a name given by the oppressor to the resistors. The resistors are 1, the Caribs, the Taino or Arawaks, and the Africans, a combination of people who refuse to accept domination or enslavement. So this is how the term Maroon came about. And these Maroons fought against the Spaniards. The word Maroon itself comes from the word Cimarron, which wild and untamed. So basically, the Maroon are people them couldn't control. Now with that being said, as time passes, the English come, same thing. They encountered, the English defeat the Spaniards with the help of the Spanish Maroons, especially a Maroon by the name of Juan de Bolas. These are the Spanish set of Maroons then before they come over and carry over into the present day Maroons that is represented by Chief Curry and Daniel Basra. These are the young representatives of the so-called misnomer, misidentification of the indigenous African people, might I add, that was here, that migrated from the continent millenniums of years ago and was labeled as Caribs, and then the Amerindians, which later became known as the Taínos. Now the original inhabitants are the Caribs and the Taínos, and these people, two different groups, and they fought and they had an understanding of where their places lie within the island of Jamaica or the surrounding Caribbean for that matter. And because of the Spanish conquerors, these people came together, the Caribs and the Taíno, and fought and entered into the interior and the hilly portions of Jamaica where they were safe because the Spaniards didn't know the island like they did. So that was their safe haven. And as Africans came and the Africans had fought and they escaped into the interior and they coalesced and formed the groups, and now the Spaniards name these people Maroon, and when the English come, it continued. Now, Juan de Bolas, he was a Maroon that helped, first was fighting against the Spaniards, fighting with the Spaniards against the English, then switched side and fought with the English, expelled the Spaniards in 1655. And so England take control of Jamaica. And the war continued between the indigenous and the new arrivals, what them call the Africans. And the war continued. Now, while you had Juan de Bolas, you have another set coming from the Spanish side of the resistance, what them call Maroons again, named Juan de Ceras. Now, he was the one who put up the fiercest resistance. He was not uncompromising to the point where Juan de Bolas switched, and after defeating the Spaniards, the English and him signed treaty with him, and for his cooperation with the English versus the Spanish, he got a treaty. So the first treaty was actually Maroon, so-called Maroon treaty, was actually Juan de Bolas. And he had equal rights and status like any other English person on the island. And for this, he had to agree to hunt Juan de Ceras. And Juan de Ceras, it is alleged, murder Juan de Bolas. And this is how you have the Maroons that later became the Windward Maroons out of the Blue Mountain side. And the Cockpit Country Maroons then is an extension of the Juan de Bolas. So this is kind of, and the Maroons, in essence, is not particularly one set of people. It's different groups of rebellious or resistors, where the slave master them label them and put all of them as Maroons. So this is the foundation of what has evolved to present time as a set of people now we call themselves Maroons. But in truth and in fact, there's no such thing. It's an evolution of a name given by the conqueror, the white conquerors. So Maroon is really an upheld legacy of a name given to a rebellious set of people, the resistance. From the Taíno, from the Caribs, Taíno, Arawak, merging with the Africans in that came here and fought and escalated and evolved. Now, the young Maroon representative now in an NPR campaign would like to dismiss or intellectualize away the Maroon complicitness in working with the colonizers in thwarting revolutionary activities and crushing rebellions. Now, like I said before, I'm not here to bash Maroon. I am just here to put clarity and want the young Maroons them to overcome that this divisive attitude where me hear and disrespectful tone is not going to do no good if we intend, especially from a Rasta level, if we intend to become one again, we have to overs and sometimes we have to shift away from upholding certain principles that is laid upon false premise. And the title of the Maroon is such: you were never Maroons. It's a name given to you. Before you were named Maroons, they called you Caribs and Arawaks / Taino. And out of that evolved because though these two groups of people refused and they joined forces to fight against the Spaniards, and hence when they brought Africans over here now, again, the recent arrivals of Africans, because Africans been here long time, even at the time of the Egyptians, Africans was on this. Now the Americas, touring the Americas. And these are the ones that came to be known as the Caribs, are a combination of Caribs and Arawaks. African people, you know, and then after the Africans then came and the Amerindians came. And the Amerindians is what is known as Arawaks or Taínos. But these are the people that control the Caribbean or the Americas. But may I speak specifically to Jamaica, because that we are represent, that we are discuss right now, and the Maroons. So Daniel Basra, Chief Curry, what we need to do is to do away with the divisive mindset. And I understand that being a Maroon has evolved into a great honor to some people. You know? At least to you guys, you know what I mean? You know, I can't knock upon a Maroon heritage. But you know, for us that, if you are going to continue the legacy of the Maroon via the divisive mindset, in this era, there is no interior to run and hide to. And if you divide yourself from the populace of Jamaica, we want to call the slave, dirty slave then, is that this time around, we have nothing to shield on. So, it's best you do away, or you guys do away with this divisive mindset and come together as one set of African people, and nation people, and Rastafari. Because Rastafari is without blemish. Now, I hear Daniel Basra and also Chief Curry them have this look of Moorish sentiments and narratives that them kind of want align themselves. Now, the Moors, there were no concept of Moors before, how would I put them now, 1447. That's when the Arab Islam come in North Africa and start conquer North Africa till 709 AD. And they convert the Africans, the ones that they converted to Islam, became known as Moors. So Moors is just another identifier for black people. And these Africans, under the leadership of Tariq, went and conquered Spain. So, if you don't want to identify as Moor, Moor is not, you can't, Moor is just African people under the Islamic banner. That's who a Moor is. A Moor is not a separate and apart people from the continent of Africa. Moors are just not Africans. And we're going to take it a little bit further. Before they call them Moors, there was the great Carthaginian Empire, that these are the last resistors of Rome. Amilcar Cabral and his son, which historical is in the historical book as Hannibal, the great African general. This African general, before Moors was even conceived, was the rulers of Spain, all the way up to Italy, fighting the Romans, fight a series of wars in our history books. They named them the Punic War. So, before the Moors, the Moors did what they did, and a lot of people would like to feel empowered and feel enriched to be a part of the Moors. To say, oh yes, I am Moors. But before the Moors existed was Hannibal. Why not call yourself Hannibalites? Why more? Hannibal was much great, conquered Spain, and dealt Rome a series of defeats before him himself was also overcome by Rome. Hence Christianity, hence and follow up, Islam come along and dispatch all these people until Ferdinand and Catherine of Aragon end up defeat the Moors them in 1492. That's when the Moors lost control and the Black Reign of Spain, aka Andalus. So in every instance and every turn, greatness is always, it's not separate and apart from Africa. We are one people, just scattered all over the world, under many different names. But we are all Anglo-Asian African people. And this is what Rastafari is representing. The collective oneness of the Anglo-Asian family. Hence Rastafari. You see it, one God, one aim, one destiny. These people have destroyed when they brought us in the diaspora, and they continue to destroy our identity. And Rastafari is reclaiming I and I agency and I identity. And when we say the King is the Almighty, the King is not separate from you. The King is just the physical representation of your greatness in our modern times. And undefeated, unconquerable, the spirit of resistance, Rastafari. We are being resistors. And Ethiopia only represent unconquerable spirit. And this is what Rastafari reclaiming and declaring. When we say Jah Rastafari is Imperial Master Emperor Haile Selassie. is just the representation of I and I, ancient, unconquerable spirit, defined through blackness, black divinity, black God. So, in truth and in fact, Daniel Basra, Chief Curry, there's no really such a thing as Maroon. It has evolved into a heritage or an identity, but what were you before they called you Maroons? Before them decided to say anti-M and unwild? You was not a Maroon. You was the Asian Africans them that came here and they call themselves the Caribs. And the Tainos and the admixture between the Taino, Arawaks, and the Caribs them, which come under the banner of the indigenous inhabitants of Jamaica, as the originals call it, or the Spanish them say the originals call it. Right? So, Maroon is not really who you are. Maroon is something that you hold on to, given to you by your white conqueror, and you represent it to your historical records of what you all did for survival. I get that, but that's not who you are. Just like I and I declare Rastafari. Why I and I declare Rastafari? Because of the diabolical enterprise called the Atlantic slave trade that stripped us of our identity. And I refuse to accept what they say who I am. So this I come around now and declare Rastafari as a sovereign mind, sovereign thinking. Lack a better word, free. You can't be free when somebody will label you and tell you who you be. You must name yourself, hence Rastafari, hence Ankh Nation Africa. Because Ankh Nation Africa is a name that I coined phrase to term the continent. Because all the names that I have been privy to about the continent was given by conquerors. See? So, when you have a sovereign mind and a sovereign thinking, you can declare who you are. And you don't need no one's permission to declare your identity. You see? So, Rastafari to the world. And I want love same way, you know. One love same way. And then at the meantime, where I go, use the great Robert, Nesta Marley, Bob Marley, to segue out of this video here with that song here for teaching purposes, because I do not own the rights to this song, but I use it for teaching purpose. So make commence it and let us unite and come in on one accord without the divide and rule. See it? Rastafari people. You see it? Isaac. Yeah, man, I want love human and one God, one human, one destiny. Marcus, you have to give it up. And I live through as Rastafari. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, at this Rastafari about. No partiality. So arm in arms, with fight this little struggle. Cause that's the only way we can overcome our little trouble. You're right. So eternal. Daniel Curry. Together to overcome little trouble. You'll find out who is the real revolutionary. Want my people to be contrary. So right. Maroon could only tear us apart. You hear that? The manches, their beats are hard. So soon you will find out who is the real revolutionary. I want my people to be my mercenaries. Yes. We are Maroon leadership. And that's why I sign up with it, you know. So more life and blessing and protection in the channel. So what I is lion channel, what I like. And know for Rastafari is the only way and the only salvation for I people. And it is a title that I declare for I self. None can take and I say they gave it to us. I declare God Emperor Haile Selassie. I declare indigenous to African and African people, and we shall unite to reclaim, because the only power in this world is land, nothing else. Land and people create nations, a nation, you see. But it starts with unity. And that's how we have to get back to unity. Oneness. Not divisiveness. Oneness. One God, one aim, one destiny. Rastafari. Jah Rastafari.